Welcome. We are back. I think I got the stream fixed. For those of you who watched last night, we had some issues, but I did like a test stream before this one and it looked pretty good. So hopefully we're good. We could actually enjoy the new overlay and not run through all my different overlays to see what works. So yeah, the chat. How did I fix this last night again? I can't remember. I think that's fine. Let me know in the chat what you think about the chat on the screen. Is that all right? I know it could be a little bit bigger, but can you still read that text? So yeah, we have 3 trading days left in the year and the week. What's up, Stephen M, Jack, Cheddar Freeze, Plebere, Mr. 90210. And yes, I believe there's 2 brothers, the Bogendorf brothers, and unfortunately one of them passed away today. Rest in peace. I didn't know a whole lot about them. I just mainly knew them, like, you know, through the crypto stuff and everything, and the memes and whatnot. But yeah, rest in peace. Still waiting on some opinions in the chat about the chat on the screen. But we can wait for that. All right, we're gonna start with Bitcoin. Okay, pretty decent sell-off. Honestly, I was expecting Bitcoin to make a larger move. It kind of just tested 52K twice, which was your high over here, and then these 2 highs. So I was expecting a little bit of a larger move, but you had a little bit of a resistance. Like if we really zoom in here on Bitcoin, you could see it was resistance in the beginning of October. But we're going to talk about Bitcoin in a second. Talk about Ethereum, the FTM coin. Not the free trading movement coin, just the actual, I think it's called Phantom or something. We're gonna talk about the market. Futures are green right now. I'm watching some very important levels, not only on the overall stock market, but also on a bunch of different stocks that I really want you all to see tonight. Like a lot of stocks are, and just the market in general, they're testing, especially on lower time frames, very important levels. So we're gonna talk about all of that. I'm gonna talk about CLOV, AMC, Wish, Tesla, NVDA, AMD. We'll talk about the ongoing swings. Hopefully we'll have time for ticker requests. And I was going to say something else. Chat looks slightly small. Yeah, but it's readable. All right, as long as it's readable, I can fix it later. I just don't want to mess around with everything right now because it looks like we're okay. So I don't really want to mess with everything. Let me just move that down a little bit. But yeah, I'll make it larger tomorrow or something. So yeah, we're going to talk about all that. There's something else I want to talk about that I just can't think of right now for some reason, unfortunately. So we'll get started. We'll get started with everything going on. The white text is slightly hard to read against the background. Yeah. I'll fix all of it for tomorrow's stream. I mean, I could try and fix it really quickly. Font settings, text color. So what color should I make it? So it's a dark background. I think the white would be like the best one to do if it's like a dark background. I don't know. I think the names are hard to read, if anything. I don't even know where I could change that. Make it red. All right, let's try red. Done. All right, now I'm gonna spam my own chat and we'll see how that looks. I don't know. Yeah, I could barely, I mean, I only put periods in that, but yeah, no, red's not gonna work. Let's try yellow and we'll see how that looks. Okay, gotta type again. See how that looks now. That looks better. I think yellow looks pretty good, actually. Yeah. So, that looks good. I could actually probably change this much quicker. Let's try this. 34. All right, so I guess we're just fixing it right now. All right, let's see how this looks now. How's that? Does that look better? Why is the name purple now, though? All right, you can see the chat's easier, I think. We'll work on it tomorrow. Or I will. So Bitcoin, we're gonna start with Bitcoin. there was a big level I was watching over here. You could see that 49.5K on this hourly chart was resistance over here, resistance over here, resistance over here, then it became support over here. And then yesterday I was watching it. This was a very big make or break level that I was watching last night. Unfortunately, it just kind of flew right under it, and then it retested as resistance. So you're now back under that level on your 1 hour chart. Maybe you can get some sort of an XABCD. The C point is going to be a little bit shallow, fortunately. You'd want that to be at least like up here. But if we're looking at like this, then your 786 for a scuffed cipher would be around 47K. And then your 886 for a shark would be around 46K. So that's probably how I'd look at it there. You are oversold on the hourly chart. Let's move up to the 4 hour on Bitcoin. You know, all this played out, so I could probably take it off my chart now. And yeah, I think, you know, there's a few levels here. If you can get back above 48K, there's not much resistance till 52K. If you can't get back above 48K, you could retest 45.5K. That's really how I'm reading the 4 hour right now. And then the daily, you're just testing the 200-day moving average. All right, so that's really it for Bitcoin. You do have a little bit of hidden bearish divergence developing currently. On the daily, it's not confirmed. Maybe it never confirms, but you have it for right now. Let's move over to Ethereum, which also kind of flushed right under another important level, which was 39.61. And now it also has confirmed hidden bearish divergence on the daily. Also, a lot of stocks are starting to see some hidden bearish divergence developing. A lot of small caps, unfortunately. We'll look at a few tonight. But yeah, Ethereum, you just want to hold 36.71, I think, short term. That's your important level. From this high, these two lows, you just want to stay above that probably. And then FTM coin is up another 4%. This thing's up like 60, 70% since when I was talking about at these areas. Really nothing to update from a technical standpoint. You know, really cool price action on that. So stocks, all right, stock futures, S&P futures are up 0.15%, NASDAQ futures about 1/3%, and then Russell futures about 1/4%. So they're green, but not super green. We have the last 3 days of the year coming up, and I believe historically those are very, very slow days. I looked back in at least the last 2 years. The last 3 days of the trading year were pretty slow. Really nothing much happened. Kind of, you know, 1/4%, maybe even like a 0.5% move for the S&P. Just, you know, kind of quiet days. A lot of people checking out for the year, you know, waiting until January to kind of get back into the market and whatnot, or at least for trading. So we could see some lower trading volume, you know, less volatility, which might make it a little bit tougher for day trades, but it could also allow us to consolidate here. And let me tell you, I would be completely fine with consolidating just after you broke out of this major resistance at 47.16 on the S&P 500. Or if we just look at the SPY chart, 473. You know, I have no problem if we consolidate here for a few days. That's completely fine by me, as long as we can hold above that resistance, maybe even flip it into a support like we talked about last night. It's all good if the market decides to move like a snail for the next few days. So breaking things down from a more technical standpoint, we have some new formations. So obviously, for context, you all remember how bullish I was over here. We were looking at the Bollinger Bands, the volume, the 100-day moving average, the bullish pin bar, the low time frame bullish shark on the 1 hour. We were looking at all of that stuff before this crazy move where you've done about 6% in 6 days. So it's been like an average of 1% a day, which is insane. So yeah, we've come a far way. We're now all the way up here. You are, you know, overbought on your lower time frames. However, you can be overbought for an extended period of time. But just focusing on the daily, and then we'll move down to the lower time frames on the S&P, and we'll do that as well for the Russell 2000, the ARK ETF, and the QQQ. Let's see what's happening now. So really easily on the daily, you just want to hold above this blue zone, this previous resistance. As long as you do that, I'm bullish in general. That's really it for like the daily. And on the 4 hour chart, no bearish divergence. You're not overbought. 4 hour just kind of looks like autopilot mode for right now. Your volume is really, really low, to be honest, which you could see leading up to a few of the tops. You know, low volume has kind of been an indicator, and then vice versa on a lot of the bottoms, high volume has been a good indicator for reversals. So you are losing that volume, which is to be expected. That's really it for your 4 hour on the S&P 500. Let's move over to the daily, not the daily, the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, you overbought. You blew past the PCC of the bearish harmonic I was talking about previously, and I said, you know, it could underperform because we have seen a lot of lower time frame bearish harmonics just vastly underperform. So if this were to react, it should have done it somewhere around over here, and it just didn't. So not surprised that that didn't really do anything. So right now on the 1 hour, I had this little pattern charted for tomorrow. This triangle, you can probably see it clearer on the 15-minute, like this. So I'll be watching this tomorrow. You kind of broke out of it towards the end of the day, but you know, maybe just the bottom and the top of this pattern I'll be watching for levels. Was this today's low? Let's see, this is 475.70. It's around today's. That's yesterday, sorry. When did today start? Today started here, so your low is right there. So yeah, just a very easy way to look at tomorrow is like, if we just even go right back over to the daily, breaking above today's high could be good, breaking below today's low could be bad. And not bad, but just short term, you know, in terms of like how the price action just for tomorrow could be. But maybe it lets you back test that and flip into a support. We'll see. That's really it for the S&P 500. One other thing I do want to talk about. Now remember, we were at our lower Bollinger Band over here when I was saying everything looked like it was bottoming to me. We were at our lower Bollinger Band. We've made a very nice quick journey up to the upper Bollinger Band. So we're now at that. So a little bit of conflicting variables, just short term, but long term, we still just had a major breakout. So it's fine for now. That's your S&P 500 for all the small cap traders here. Russell 2000. Yeah, another one where, again, if you were here for the last 2 weeks, I was talking about how bullish I was in these areas. I'm not going to repeat all of it, but you've had a nice rally. I think you just rallied 7% from your low. Yeah, 8% pretty much, actually. You just had an 8% move in about a week. And you showed resistance where I was saying that you're going to most likely see resistance. Go back and watch last night's stream, and I drew like a box right over here. And I told you all that this is kind of a decent resistance area. You have your 200-day moving average. You have both of these highs. Not going to be easy to break this. If you do break it, allows you to fill this gap at 228.6, but you can't. It's not going to be easy unless you, I don't know, gap up like 1% tomorrow or something. So unfortunately, not the best candle over here. That large upper wick kind of shows some price rejection at your resistance on the Russell 2000. Going down to lower time frames, it looks 50-50, I guess. Let's see how much of a fib retrace you've made. Got near the 50% retrace, but I mean, even on top of everything I just talked about, right? I just talked about the 200-day moving average on the daily, and I just talked about these two highs, but look, those two highs all line up with the 50% retrace. So again, this 226 area to 227, pretty tough. It might be a little bit tough for it to break it. Hopefully eventually does, even if it sells off a bit first, makes a high low. I think Mitch Ray was talking about that on his stream earlier today. So that's really it for the Russell. I'm really not too focused on it right now. It kind of broke down from this ascending broadening wedge today. So again, I told you all how bullish I was over here, and it just rallied 7%. Maybe it's time for, you know, a little bit of, maybe not even a pullback, but just some consolidation, because this is a little bit of a tough area to break after already going up 7%. So that's how I'm looking at the Russell 2000 for right now. And I'm just gonna tell you all right now, the SPY, like I just to give like a summary. The SPY on lower time frames looks 50-50 to me, but on the SPY on higher time frames, like the daily, looks pretty good to me. The Russell 2000 looks pretty 50-50 to me here in general. However, if we look at the arc, that changes things a bit. So for small caps, I'm kind of seeing this 50-50. Of course, you all know how crazy bullish I was over here. Now it's more of a 50-50. However, for mid caps, I'm still bullish. So this is kind of how things are starting to separate. Now on your Russell, I'm kind of 50-50, but on the arc, you know, it still didn't really do much. And again, that could be a bad sign. Could be argued that it's underperforming. But you could see a lot of, you know, look at the S&P and the NASDAQ and even the Russell 2000. They made larger Fibonacci retraces, right? We just saw the Russell go up to the 50% retrace. So a lot of these mid caps really didn't even see the rally that a lot of large caps and even some small caps have seen in the last week or so. So I still think there's a lot of these names that a lot of people are just overlooking, and maybe in January, because January was an insanely good month for mid caps last year. It was so good. So I don't know, maybe we have some nice seasonality there, but on the arc, like as long as it stays above 89, still looks fine to me, honestly. You did drop under this level, which is 97, which was your low from May, so hopefully you can reclaim that. So that's your ARC ETF. Now let's talk about, well, we can look at the NASDAQ really quickly. Hidden bullish divergence is confirmed and playing out. You broke this supply line. Next resistance I see is around 16,000. And then support I see is around 15.6. Let's focus on the QQQ here for a second. All right, take a look at this. All right, you have your right angle descending broadening wedge if we're ignoring this little peak. And you clearly, this is a very clear resistance zone. I mean, we could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles. You found resistance in this little $400 area for the QQQ, right? This is the tech index pretty much, or an ETF. So today, well, yesterday you broke out of it with a confirmed candle close, and today what did you do? You went down to this area, and if you really zoom in, you started bouncing off of this area. What do we always talk about? The break, hook, and goes. Well, this is your break. This could be looked at as a hook, and if tomorrow you get something like that's a really bad looking candle, but if you get something looking like this tomorrow, then you have a potential break, hook, and go. And this is kind of, I already told premium members this is my main focus for tomorrow morning, because this is your daily, and you can already see how it looks on a daily. But even if we go down to lower time frames, well, I mean, you could draw a little bit of a line right over here. You can see you really just broke out on the QQQ, you just broke out of that supply line. But also, let's take a look at some EMAs over here. You're above all of them, right? You've just been, the white line over here is your 5-day, 5 EMA, 5-day exponential moving average. And it's just been kind of riding up this white line pretty much ever since it got above it on December 21st. And every single time, you know, it's only tested it over here and over here really, but then today again it tested it. So you've just been nonstop bouncing off of that 5-day EMA on the 4-hour chart. And then if we go to even lower time frames on the QQQ, you could see that zone a little bit clearer. This little blue zone, it used to be a resistance, and what do you do today? You drop back down into it, and you found support there, and you even printed a bullish pin bar on the candle that had the lowest price of the day today. So tomorrow I'm keeping a very close eye on this. I'm gonna explain this a little bit further. You also have 30-minute hidden bullish divergence developing, I think 15-minute as well on the RSI, and then even on the 15-minute you just broke out of this wedge, and then you're kind of back testing, pretty similar to how the SPY looks over here, like I showed you earlier. So QQQ tomorrow I am keeping a very close eye on. If it can hold this blue zone, I mean, you don't really have much resistance. You have 404.6, which was pretty much today's high, and then also your high from right over here. And that's really it. So tomorrow, if the QQQ is in these areas and you're getting 5-minute hidden bullish divergence and a lot of these tech stocks looking good to me intraday, I mean, it opens up a move not only to test this level, and that's probably where I take my first profits, but if this level breaks, you have pretty much no resistance until your previous all-time high. So you have a lot of resistance. I mean, only a little bit of resistance above you with a lot of support just below you, which again creates that low risk potential high reward opportunity where you have a favorable reward to risk with multiple variables, right? Very clear. You look at it like this, you're getting your 3 reward to risk very comfortably. So I'm keeping a very close eye on this. I mean, looking at tech stocks in general, this is the part that you want to also focus on. And one thing I forgot to mention on the QQQ that is a contradicting variable is that you did print a 4-hour bearish engulfing candle on your first 4-hour candle, and then your second one was a doji candle, which also is probably not the best follow-through or follow-up candle you want after bearish engulfing. I see a lot of dojis act as like continuations where you get like a major bullish or bearish candle, then the next candle is a doji, and then the following candle, you know, is like kind of your actual price action, whether it's bullish or bearish. So I am keeping an eye on that as well. But looking at some of the top holdings in the QQQ, you can clearly see that all of them are kind of doing the same thing. They're all moving up towards, they've had a really good rally already, and they're all kind of moving up towards these make or break areas, where if they're able to break these areas, that's a major breakout, and for a lot of these stocks, it's all-time highs. If they can't break it, well, this is exactly where you have resistance. So they're all testing resistances. So I already have alerts set. You can see I have an alert set right over here. On literally all the charts. Microsoft, I have an alert set. Same thing on Microsoft. You can see this resistance at 343.74. Topped out here. But tomorrow, if Microsoft can break this resistance, if Apple can break that resistance, what do you think the QQQ does? So that's why, you know, I'm setting up my alerts even on Microsoft. I don't know if you can see it. I have an alert right here. So I'm setting up all of these alerts on all these large cap tech stocks. And I'm keeping a very close eye on it tomorrow. Even on Amazon, you could see this area of resistance on the 1-hour chart. So if Amazon is able to break above that, I mean, that could lead to like a really good rally for a lot of these tech stocks. Even Facebook, take a look at this supply line. I have an alert set on this supply line. What happens if Facebook can break this supply line? So I'm pretty much just going to be having the QQQ on one of my screens tomorrow morning, watching how it's going to be testing this blue support zone. And then on my other screen, I'm going to have probably like 4 or 5 charts up of all these large caps. And I'm going to be seeing if they can make those breakout moves tomorrow. The only thing is, again, you are testing resistance, right? But worst case scenario, if all these large cap tech stocks reject their resistances and you start pulling back, again, you have a clear area on the QQQ that you could see it. You know, if you were to break this blue zone at, let's say, 399, it's pretty clear that they're not breaking out just yet. And also, like I said earlier, you might have like a really light volume. So yeah, keeping an eye on all of these tomorrow. Even Tesla, this is a good transition. Even Tesla's close to a major breakouts in the title of the stream. Obviously, I was talking about Tesla nonstop over here and how bullish I was. You've had already like a 25% rally, and you are testing this big area. If Tesla breaks the supply line, let's go over to the 4-hour. Tesla can break this supply line. I mean, there's not much. I mean, technically all these highs could act as resistance, but if you really go on the daily, like you could see there's really nothing that's like that important. You kind of only had like all these like testing like 1 or 2 times. So same thing here. What happens if Tesla decides to get above 1130 tomorrow? Even if it just decides to get above this little area of resistance at like 1120, what happens if Tesla breaks that? You don't really have much resistance after that. It's like 1175, right? So that's what I'm keeping a very close eye on. Those are like the important levels I was talking about or hinting towards in the beginning of the stream. So that's my thoughts on the overall market. I'll read the chat in a second, but apart from Tesla, some other stocks we could talk about before we talk about the ongoing swings. AMC, watching this potential 4-hour inverse head and shoulders. Today I played some AMC calls and they did not work out at all. Pretty big loss for me. I entered calls somewhere in this area and it just sold off. And to be fair, the market was selling off, you know, during a lot of that as well. And it actually had some news over here, pushed it up a few percent, and it sold off again. But yeah, I kind of went long here, like stopped out there. Like it was just one of my worst trades in a while. So still watching this 4-hour inverse head and shoulders on AMC. CLOV broke out of this wedge. Still not much to talk about. Remember I told you all about this symmetrical triangle. It broke down and then you got fall through price action to the downside. It's a technical thing. So on CLOV, I mean, hopefully you can just hold above this previous all-time low support zone in your 380s. If it breaks it, then you have no support looking left, and then really all you could do at that point would be Fibonacci, and your 1272 would be at like 362. That's really it for CLOV right now. Just waiting for volume and price action. Wish, I'm keeping an eye on Wish over here. You can see this daily downsloping channel. And if we go over to the 1-hour chart, maybe do I have this on my 4-hour? Yeah, if we look at this 4-hour chart, Wish has been in this wedge pattern, and you could see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. So it's a real pattern. Definitely have some, you know, gray area over here, but still got your 5 touches, and you can clearly see how volatile it was here and how tightened up it's gotten. But Wish just broke out of this wedge it's been in for 200 days. So, you know, it could take some time for volume to come in and things to really start developing, but keeping an eye on Wish. I don't know, like before I even touch Wish, I just wanted to start seeing higher highs and higher lows because the trend is still just really ugly for right now. Micron retesting all-time highs. Pretty much all the semis are. A lot of people are talking about semis going into 2022. They were one of the best performing sectors this year alone, but a lot of people are still focusing on how we still have this chip shortage, and how while we have had this chip shortage, a lot of these semis haven't really even been able to produce a lot of supply. Now that they're starting to create these factories and plants and trying to get those production numbers up, they're going to be at the point where they are able to sell all those chips, and that obviously brings in earnings. So a lot of people are still, that I've been seeing on CNBC and in newsletters and on Twitter, just really thinking that, you know, this crazy move on semis is going to keep going. So yeah, Micron is kind of putting in like this rounding action over here, which you can see pretty clearly, right? AMD and NVIDIA. If you watch the stream, I literally, on both AMD and NVIDIA, I literally gave you the local bottom. Like, I couldn't have, like, we were talking about it, okay? We were talking about it. Also, like, I even sent this to premium members last night. The calls didn't really work out, but the puts did. Remember when we were talking about this double bottom over here, and on the 4-hour, the wedge. And also remember on AMD when we were talking about the inverse head and shoulders with the wedge and the hidden bullish divergence, like these were the areas where I was talking about AMD and NVIDIA at, right? These were the areas. So now they're moving very, very nicely, you know, a little bit of a pullback day today for them, but they're still showing that hidden bullish divergence on the daily. So that implies a continuation of the overall uptrend. So yeah, those are just some other tickers I felt like mentioning. Let me read the chat for a second here. All right. What's the Russell future ticker? It's RTY1. All right, RTY1. S&P hit the 70th record high for the year. It's crazy. IWM looks sus if this is the high for the run, says the guy. Steven M said hit the like button. Yeah, hit that like button if you didn't already. And so OMI. I forgot which exchange I had on. It was this one. OMI, I forgot to look at it earlier. It's just really hasn't done much. I'm just waiting for new price action on OMI before I start talking about it more. All I really see right now is potential hidden bearish divergence. Also, I don't know. All right, so for those of you who watched the video I did speculating about Logan Paul, VV, Pokemon, OMI, and all of that, again, it was just pure speculation. I was just trying to make an entertaining video. I kind of repeated that like 10,000 times during that video. I have some new information. Pretty sure that my initial speculation was off. Which again, I literally said there was like a very low chance of it being right. But the point of the video, the point of me making that video, and if anybody's confused what I'm talking about, just go on YouTube, and you're on YouTube right now, just look up Logan Paul champion vibe. It's like my only video mentioning him or whatever. And I was talking about, you know, I was just trying to bring together different things. I was trying to see what Logan's big project was. I was trying to see what VV and OMI works. I had no idea about them. And also I was trying to see where Pokemon came into everything. And, you know, there were certain parts of it that have already kind of proven themselves, such as like, you know, the release of everything, but some new information. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video, but I'm like 75% sure I know exactly what it is now. That project, that if you watch the video, you're gonna get everything I'm saying. For people that haven't watched the video, this probably sounds like I'm crazy. But I'm like 75% sure I know what that project is, and it's not VV with a 75% probability. Because I think I know the name of what it is, and I've looked at the website and everything. I just don't know if I want to share it or anything for right now. But you'll hear more about that soon. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I was using public information. Anybody could have done the same thing. And yeah. All right. Here, let me just give one little hint. So that if this does come true, I can at least say, hey, I mentioned it on stream. I'm just gonna give one hint. All right, so the first letter is 1 second. All right, the first letter of it is L. Okay, that's all you gotta know. First letter is L. All right, of what the potential project I made that whole video on is. All right. Just remember the letter L. Okay, we'll see. Logan is going to start his own NFT. He already did. It's called Crypto Zoo, and build his own community for information. Ecomi holds the license of Pokemon. What do you mean by that? How do they hold the license of Pokemon? Explain that a little bit further. I know about Al Khan, but I know he worked on the licensing or whatever for Pokemon. Obviously, he's there with Vivi now. But how does Ecomi? I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. So let's talk about the ongoing swings. All right. Pretty much all of them except for VLO pulled back today. VLO has been doing nothing for like a month, and then today decides to outperform. So starting off with MARA, this I had to mark as a break even trade on the sheet. It was up. Actually, no, sorry, not MRA. RIOT is the one I had to mark as a break even. Look, UW, the CEO of Ecomi. What do you mean by UW? Are you talking about Al Khan? But I don't get the. So you said holds the license of Pokemon. From my understanding, that's like Nintendo and the Pokemon companies, if that's what they're called. David Yu. All right, thank you. I'll look into it. because I didn't know that. But I thought, I mean, I don't know. Executive. All right, so ongoing swings. Mara, this obviously hit the first target for a 14% gain yesterday. This was alerted on Friday, so 14% gain already secured on this one, even went above the first target. And then today it pulled all the way back to the entry. I don't have to mark it as a break even on the sheet because it already was marked as a winning trade. So you do whatever you want. But RIOT, unfortunately, didn't make the move to the first target because it was a more aggressive target, and RIOT has now come back down to the entry. So I marked this one as a break even. Not much of a technical change, honestly. It's just still testing the support zone, but those are the rules of the sheet. Fisker, yet again, bounced off the 200-day moving average. This is the third time it's tested the 200-day moving average, and intraday saw a decent bounce off of it. It saw 3% bounce off of it, so you just want to continue to do that. 1567 is the closest support other than the 200-day moving average. I'd like to see it hold. Hidden bullish divergence is still possible if you can start getting some green price action. Open, it's just literally been going sideways. You have like a little bit of like a mini range between 14 and 1520-ish. So hopefully it breaks to the upside first. If not, 1367 is the important level. Upstart was up a lot yesterday, and unfortunately today it was down 7%. Trade's still up 3% since the entry. Technically it could be looked as a back test of this breakout of this wedge, but you do also have a bearish engulfing candle. However, you also did fill the gap, so you have a bearish engulfing candle, but you are kind of back testing your breakout, and you also did fill your gap already, so you don't have to worry about that later on. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Palantir down 2%. Trade's still in profit, just kind of doing nothing, just waiting for it to make a move. Same thing for BYND, just still walking down the supply line. GameStop kind of did the opposite. So like Friday and Monday, it had large sell-offs and then bounced. Today it actually started green and then it sold off. So kind of like the opposite price action. But overall, it's just kind of going sideways, I guess, as well. Zoom, we'll have to mark this as a break even if it drops another $4, unfortunately. Not that the technicals would have changed much, but you're going to be pretty much losing your edge on the MACD if it does continue to drop. However, I'd still think 176 is just the important level for Zoom to hold. Wix, hopefully can eventually break out of this wedge. Trade's still up 10% since the entry. Nothing to really talk about. SU didn't move today, but made a new higher high intraday, which is nice after that breakout we talked about yesterday. And then VLO, look at that, it's doing something, finally. We talked about yesterday how it finally closed above the 200-day moving average for the first time during this trade. And then today you got a gap up and a 2% green day, which is nice. So this is your highest close, I believe, since November 16th on VLO. So that's your ongoing swings. Apart from everything I just talked about, the Hang Seng Index is down about 1% right now. Gold pulled back a little bit after making a new high of this current rally. The dollar is still just walking up this ladder of a demand line. The Dow Jones retesting previous all-time highs. Russell Growth ETF kind of looks like the Russell. ARKG kind of looks like ARKK. And then the US 10-year. Testing the 200-day moving average, still in the VIX, a new lowest close of this rally for the market, and honestly not much support left till around 15-ish, so good. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about tonight. If you just joined the stream, go back and watch everything I talked about on QQQ, not because it's going to go up for sure, just because it's a very clear level you can watch that could help you out intraday, not only for tech stocks but just the overall market. All right. What's up, Seek? What's up, Laid Back? All right. So, yeah, we can just do take a request for the rest of the stream. Make sure to hit the like button if you're not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. We've gained like 0 subs in like the past month, unfortunately. I think it is the slowest month since I started streaming. It is what it is, though. It's always ups and downs. But if you are new to the stream, you could help us, I don't know, start rallying on subs again. But yeah, if you want me to look at a stock or a crypto or currency, I don't know. If you want me to look at some sort of ticker that is available on TradingView, drop it in the chat. Don't request any IPOs, any stocks that are OTCs. Don't request anything up over 30% today. I'm looking at these as swing. I've chart on the stream with the eyes of a swing trader, not a day trader. All the day trade stuff is pretty much in premium. All right. So yeah, let's get the 20 likes first. Hopefully you're enjoying the new overlay. Glad to see that it's actually working tonight. That's amazing. It was 100% my Wi-Fi last night. I don't know why it was so bad last night, but it's all good now. But yeah. And no tea today, just water. Had a lot of coffee today, so. Why does the bot only type stuff when I'm doing ticker requests? It's like the bot is like trying to, I don't know. I feel like whoever is the bot in the chat is like trying to make me type whatever spam they put in the chat into my trading view watch list. It's so strange. Like whoever you are that's being a bot in the chat, why are you only doing that when I start doing ticker requests? Kind of did blend in for a second. That's why I was like so confused. Neo... LVS, Zeke says glad the new overlay seems to be working. Yeah, thankfully. Looks pretty good, I think. And this is only on 60 speed. It's not even on 100 speed. Like those fireworks, I can make them go way quicker. Maybe I'll try it at the end of the stream. We'll see how cool it looks. We already looked at AMD. Actually, we didn't really do a breakdown on it, so I guess we'll look at it and kind of focus on it more. So we'll start off with AMD. At this point, again, I said earlier in the stream already, this was the area that I was saying I was bullish on AMD, right over here. And I even shared calls that you could be up like over 300% on. Was it AMD or NVIDIA? It might have been NVIDIA. Was it AMD? Let me see. So it was AMD. Yes, I shared calls last week right over here where that green circle is, I believe. And those calls went up 300%. All you had to do was watch the stream. I said the exact contracts, expiration date, everything. At this point, it's been rallying. The major support I see is around 146. Honestly, any of these given highs could be a resistance that I'm pointing at right now. And you don't really have much of a pattern at this point. A little bit of classic bearish divergence kind of led to that drop today. Didn't really do much so far yet, though. So that's like more of a technical breakdown on AMD. Robinhood, I just see it as a range right now between $17 and $19. So it just depends on which way that range breaks. Moderna, let's go back over to the daily. Let me delete that. Let me just clear up the chart. Moderna, it's in this interesting area, which kind of chart here. This little area over here was support resistance before. If this area holds, you don't have much resistance up until like 295. If it doesn't hold, like 209, like this whole entire, I'd say like probably 186 to 195 could be tested next if this blue zone doesn't hold as support. Like that. I think a break below, let me fix this up a little bit. I think a break below 211 could send it down to like the upper 190s. So that's kind of how I view it right now. PayPal. Hit the PCZ of a crab. Falling wedge, double bottom. Potential for hidden bearish divergence, but it's not even close to confirmed yet. So hopefully PayPal can just start rallying. Maybe a little bit of a pattern here developing. It's kind of at the apex of this little triangle, so tomorrow could be a big make or break day. Short term at least. That's really it. Neo. It kind of flipped the previous resistance of this whole entire range it was in for almost a year, and back it kind of flipped the support into resistance, unfortunately. So unless Neo can really rally and hold above 31, I don't know. But if you disregard that, then you still are near the demand line of this downsloping channel. And let's see what this looks like. You're also near the lower Bollinger Band, so kind of conflicting variables. Even the MACD is close to crossing green. Everything kind of looks fine except for the fact of like you just need to break back above 31 and hold it, in my opinion. For more confirmation, LVS hit the PCZ of a crab, kind of a deep B to D wave, but double bottomed perfectly around the 1.66 extension, which also lines up with the low from the COVID crash. and almost a low from 2016. So if $34 can hold, 42 to 44 could be tested next. Not much resistance until there. So that's LVS. Tattooed Chef, nothing really changed since yesterday. It sold off another couple percent. Hopefully it can just eventually break the supply line before really breaking down over here. And that's really how I view Tattooed Chef. Also, I said earlier in the stream, a lot of these stocks are starting to show hidden bearish divergence, at least developing. So you just gotta hope that a lot of these hidden bearish divergences either get invalidated or don't really do much. Charge point, still just testing this support zone. Hidden bullish divergence still developing. Bearish engulfing candle today, but just going sideways. I just like to see this get above 20 bucks before falling under 17.50. That's really how I'd look at it. And then Magna, Dragon pattern, just broke out of it recently as well. So textbook target would be between 82 to 84 bucks. Or also your 786, look at that, your 786 at 86.71, it lines up with resistance and the 200-day moving average. So that could be another level, all those levels. And then support, I've already have these 4 supports charted. All right. Musk sold $1 billion of Tesla shares today. He also filed to exercise options and purchase 1.56 million shares for $6.24 per share, $6.24 per share. That's via Market Rebellion on Twitter. What was I just gonna check? My short-term memory has gotten really, really, really bad. Any other tickers you all want me to look at? So we already talked about QQQ. It's also, I'm trying to find like things to day trade for tomorrow. I usually try and do that the night before. At least got like 3 or 4 that I can watch in the morning. Apart from QQQ, I'm not really seeing a lot of clear setups for tomorrow. I don't know. Keep hitting that like button. But yeah. I'm telling you all, I mean, if we get confirmation in the morning, have to see how the market looks like in the morning, but the confirmation's there. This is, again, there's no certainty that this is going to continue going up. And again, you already have rallied a lot for the QQQ, but it's just such an easy trade, even if it fails. That's what I love about a lot of the trades, where it's like, even if they fail, it's still an easy area to stop out, that you're not worried about, oh, what if it just shoots right back up? Like, of course it could. But just super simple, but also you have variables if you really go into the other time frames. Just gotta hope that that 4-hour bearish engulfing doesn't play out. Corsair. Is in this long-term wedge. Probably just want to hold above 20. You're just kind of in a range between 20 and 22.51. I could chart some more levels here really quickly. All right, so those are kind of the big levels I see in Corsair. That's really all I can do on Corsair for right now. Pot stocks, is it MJ? That's the ETF. I think this is the ETF for pot stocks. They broke out of the supply line and they just kind of kept going down. So when that happens, you could pretty much just redraw your lines. I don't really know the best way to do it. Maybe that. Just look at it like this, a downsloping channel. Interesting thing here is that, let's see, is there any other? No, okay. So, hey, I mean, the last 2 times you came down to between $9 and $11, you bottomed. So, I mean, this is historically your support. And you've got a Bartley. Got a Gartley and a bat mixed together. Palantir, we already looked at Palantir. It's going to be in the timestamps. Just going sideways for right now. That's really it for Palantir. I'd like to see it get above and hold above 19. Hopefully you can do that at some point. $1.3 million worth of Amazon. I just click on. Why did that delete? 1 second. Calls bot out of the money. Short expiration over $1 million. Okay. 1.3 million calls. $1.3 million worth of calls were swept for Amazon, expiring. I think the 7th is next Friday for 34.40. Which is actually this resistance, I believe, right here that I already have an eye on. Yeah, I even have an alert. Yeah, so looks like some calls are coming in betting that this resistance will be broken. And then Tesla, $1,100 strikes for next Friday, so 1.7 million in those. Those were bought at ask. And we also talked about Tesla previously. Close, not quite there yet. It's already rallied a lot. But if it breaks this, I mean, a lot of people will be watching it. A lot of NVIDIA calls. Netflix. There's a couple ways you could look at Netflix right now. Look at it like this, which might be a crab. A little bit shy of a PCC. And then over here, I don't think your C point is going to be high enough. Pretty close though, 6% off. Pretty close to a shark playing out here already on Netflix. 618. Break above 618 on Netflix could send it up to 632. Bearish engulfing candle on the daily though. Look how beautiful this is. Look at this ascending triangle. I mean, like, you cannot make this stuff up, all right? Ascending triangle. Look at this. Break, hook, and go. Like, wow. $408 strikes for this Friday. I think 408 was today's high on the QQQ. No, that's actually all-time highs. Wow. It's almost 2% away. Roblox, Square. Walmart. Also keep an eye on this on Google. Right there. Dark cloud cover forming on a Roblox. Monthly says try to freeze. Yeah, I'm just looking at lower time frames right now, seeing if there's anything special. Look at this. Just look at these. All right, you see this 194 level? That was your high over here on the 8th of December. Look back, always look left on your charts. It was your low over here, your low over here, your low over here, your high over here. And then you see this 158 level, which was your high over here and your support kind of over there. That was your support over here. Like, wow. All right, so apps. All right, that'll be the last one. They did a Google partnership. I don't really know what Digital Turbine does. Cloud infrastructure. So this must have been it. 12%. Well, those are your 4-hour levels. Not much of a pattern or anything. Alright, so that's going to be it for tonight's stream. I'll be live again tomorrow night. These are the quiet times, but that's okay. The quiet times come and go. And the smart people learn a lot during the quiet times. That's all I'll say. Alright, have a good night. Good luck trading tomorrow if you choose to. Join the Discord, links in the description. Watch the free course links in the description. My disclaimers are in the description. Everything's in the description. Have a good night and peace out.